Hello, welcome. My work investigates how people learn to attend to man-made interfaces when completing routine tasks. Think back to the first time you used an interface and had to search all over to find what you need, versus after being trained or using an interface for a while, you are now able to find what you need without really thinking about it. An emerging tool to aid in procedural task training is augmented reality, or AR, which can overlay digital cues onto the real world. While these cues can aid in task performance in the moment, they can lead to poor memory retention compared to paper and computer-based training on later tests. This issue may be due to the type of cue used. The cues that are often used in AR training programs indicate the location of relevant items, either by highlighting or arrows. This type of cue may cause trainees to focus on the location of a button rather than the identity of the button they need to press. Previous work has showed that task instructions can impact people's awareness of button colors when learning a simple button sequence. Perhaps if an interface training program presented icon cues, this could lead to more robust learning. So let me share my screen for a moment. This is our methods. So we presented about half of participants with an icon cue at the top of the screen, and approximately half of participants saw a AR cue that highlighted the button that they needed to push. Our experiment consisted of 4 phases: training phase, a testing phase, transfer phase, and a questionnaire. In the transfer phase, participants completed the same tasks but used a differently arranged interface. So you can see how I have individual buttons as well as button clusters. So the new interface contained where button clusters moved, as well as individual buttons swapped places, as well as a cluster where no buttons in that cluster changed. During each phase, participants completed 10 repetitions of 3 tasks. Each task consisted of 4 unique buttons. And during training, participants heard the button names and were presented with individual button feedback. For our results, we saw that all participants were slowed when used the rearranged interface, but only participants who used who were trained with the AR cues had increased errors when using the rearranged interface, versus participants who were trained with the icons had similar error rates. And we can also see that both groups had similar test performance. So this is an effect of the interface having been rearranged. Also, in the free response questionnaire, both groups rated their training as equally well for preparing them for the second model. However, the numeric difference, the confidence interval, and the free response suggest that participants were sensitive to the usefulness of the respective training. So an icon participant mentioned it was easily transferable, even though the positions were different. The symbols were the same, so it was fine once I got used to it. Versus an AR participant, they said, when the device changed, I think the training started to fail me because I had a pattern in my head that now changed. I did not focus too hard on the symbols. So as we can see, both groups were impacted by the rearranged interface, but it was really that AR group that now has more errors, which can be particularly problematic if you're in a safety critical situation, like perhaps a nuclear power plant. So future steps with this, we had planned to collect 100 participants in order to look at button level changes, so that cluster versus individual. And as of right now, we only have about 50 participants. So I'm looking forward to looking at that next to see if AR cues produce a more local attention focus, and icon cues might produce a more global attention focus. I also am going to be looking at later introducing maybe an eye tracker to see if people in the icon condition is actually looking at the icon cue. But thank you so much for your attention. Feel free to contact me if you have any questions about this work.